These things are very arousing. They keep us up.
부정적인 감정이 우리를 깨있게 하는데 이런 사람 많죠. 네. Today is a special day that we have special guest, Dr. Dimas, who's been here a couple times. Yeah, so she's here to help us with sleep meditation.
Well, hello again, everyone. It feels so good to be back. And I felt so honored that Dr. G invited me to talk to you about sleep. I have a lot of colleagues that work at the Stanford Sleep Clinic, California, UCLA Sleep Clinic. I've been doing sleep therapy for, 15 years with all my clients. It's always such a big symptom,
Exactly.
don't you think? And I think sleep is so important because it wasn't a problem when we were young.
We wanted more.
And our parents made it so fun, right? It was almost like a family affair.
미국에는 정말 그래요. 슬립 루틴이라고 그러죠. 어느 정도 이렇게 생활 수준이 되시는 분들은 아이에게 자기 전에 그러면서 이제 oftentimes they do warm bath도 하고 베드룸에 가가지고 눕혀서 턱 낀 그 이불 덮어주면서 보통 옆에서나 앉아서나 read to them 이런 걸 많이 해요.
And I feel like now when we're adults, it's so different. It's almost like, a forcing function. Like we need to sleep because we need to get up and do everything the next day again.
We don't have no choice other than need to sleep to work tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we wonder, why is it so hard to turn our minds off? So I wanted to know what your sleep routine is now.
Up to the bedtime, unless I'm sick, I'm kind of doing something on computer usually. And then I try to go to bed before 11, but again, that's not like every time that I could do that. And then, obviously wash my face and change and go in. I try not to bring my cell phone in there. I actually have a tablet with no social media, but just books. So I sometimes read and also meditation. So I do sleep meditation almost every night to go to sleep. 네, 그 정도예요. Yeah, that's about it. How about yours?
Okay, this is my ideal
Yes.
sleep routine. So I wish I could do it all the time. I like to change when I'm done work into house clothes. And that kind of just makes my mind rewired. Like it's time to relax. It's time to calm down. And then 2 hours before bed, I like to watch TV because I never watch TV. And to just get my mind off of work or other things and be entertained, just do something
just
mindless. Nothing violent, nothing intense, no news.
뉴스는 안 보고 막 싸우거나 이런 건 안 보고 저도 그런 거는 밤에는 안 봐요.
And then I tell my patients and clients to create like a spa for themselves as much as possible. Washing your face with some nice soothing things that smell nice, brushing your teeth, lighting a candle in the bedroom. And then I do what my grandmother kind of used to do. I try to take a bath. I'd love to look up the science of a bath because for some reason it just knocks me out.
Yeah.
But you talked about sleep hygiene last time,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. If you can add a little more too.
Okay. So the sleep diary is very important.
진짜 수면에 문제가 계신 분은 노력을 좀 해야겠죠. 수면 일기예요. 굉장히 심하신 분, 치료를 하시는 분은 테라피 할 때는 슬립 테라피 하려면 이런 거 하셔야 됩니다.
Therapy, especially sleep, it's really different than different kind of interventions. It's different than taking a sleeping pill or getting a kind of treatment because it requires the client or the person who wants better sleep to be really active and do a lot of work to get better.
What do you think the reason is why sleep therapy the person needs to put so much work to get better?
Because really what it is a behavioral treatment. It needs to be a behavioral change, which is good. That's the good news.
Right, because there's nothing wrong with your brain. Yeah.
Exactly. It's just like training a dog, like your two little puppies, to go outside. It's just repetitive discipline. The good news is it's so solvable. It's a good prognosis.
Right. Okay.
And I like this little slide, and we'll put it up later. It just shows the determinant, the likelihood of sleep. So you can see that the level of arousal is really important. And then your sleep drive, which is kind of how much sleep debt you have, or how much you've gotten or not, and your circadian rhythm, kind of when you go to sleep. And arousal is really the most important because that's what's keeping you awake often. I like this because I think people don't realize what actually can keep you aroused or awake. So it's your thoughts, it's your behaviors, it's negative emotions. These things are very arousing. They keep us up.
부정적인 감정이 우리를 깨있게 하는데 이런 사람 많죠. 네. Is this all applicable to adolescent, like 12-year-old?
Oh, very much so. I think they're the most important group to target for sleep hygiene because their circadian rhythms are changing. They need more sleep.
Right.
Almost than any group. And this is the best time to start teaching them sleep habits and routines. And I wanted to talk about different types of sleep problems or different types of sleep insomnia, we call it. So I asked them, do you have trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, or waking up too early? And I asked them those three because there's three kind of types of different insomnia. There's sleep initiation or sleep onset, when you can't fall asleep, you get into bed and your mind is going. For me, that's the hardest part. Getting into bed, turning my mind off. Once I'm asleep, I'm good. And then there's middle of the night or sleep maintenance insomnia. These are people who maybe wake up in the middle of the night, maybe every night around 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., and they have a hard time getting back to sleep. And then there's a morning awakening subtype. Often happens in older adults, and they wake up way earlier than they want to, and they can't get back to bed. Sometimes people think it's just one of those three, but it can be a combination of any of those.
그 세 개 다 있을 수 있다. Yeah.
And my personal clinical approach to sleep treatment, I use CBTI, which is cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia. I specialize in biofeedback, so I do some psychophysiology around sleep. And then I do yoga nidra. Have you heard of that? In yoga nidra, they use this word called your sankalpa, which is really just like your heart's biggest desire. Like an intention or something that you really like. You can do yoga nidra many ways, like sitting on an airplane if you have to, but I think it's important to be in bed. Try to get in the most cozy position you can. So it's okay if you're not on your back for this. Just make sure you're cozy and comfy. So what do you think? Do you think we should play some music in the background?
Play some music.